It's the Aftermath, boys. Welcome, everyone. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna hit a line from Liz in Survivor New Era history from Q's season. I'm pissed. Q's my favorite New Era player, so to lose him is devastating. I'm pretty sad about it. Chase, how are you feeling about tonight's episode?
Honestly, I'm not too upset about it. It's our third actually New Era player out of 12 who has been voted out. I feel like there's kind of a trend here. Well, I guess not voted out because Kyle was pulled, but um,
Eliminated.
he was eliminated. Yes, medevaced, we should say. But either way, with Q, I'm not too upset about it.
All right, well, let's get into it. Where do you want to start? We can start at the top if you want, or we can.
I want to start with we finally had an intro. It took 3
Yeah, we
episodes,
did.
and we finally had an intro.
It was pretty awesome. The music's back, the old school theme song, and it feels good, man. It feels really good.
The old school theme song's back, and earlier today, Survivor kind of posted on their social media that they hinted at the intro was coming back, and they posted some slides of just all of the 24 contestants. And the first 3 slides in order happen to be Jenna, Kyle, and Savannah. So a lot of people were speculating that, oh, all right, well, they accidentally posted the order of who was getting voted out. You know who wasn't number 4? Q. So anyone who thinks that they accidentally posted the order, don't worry about that.
I didn't catch that today. I wasn't on social media too much. I had a pretty busy work day, but I know Survivor's usually pretty good about like not letting any of that type of information slip online.
Yep.
So that doesn't surprise me. But our community is pretty avid about trying to dig for any little detail they can find. So
yeah, I mean, I personally do. I know you personally do as well. So, yeah, recap is back. Like I said, social media post. No, obviously that wasn't the order of people who get voted out. That was just a tribute, like they said, to the first 3 who were voted out, and then they put everyone else in random order.
Just want to let the record show we're not a spoiler podcast. You said we dig for information. That's spoiler-free information.
Well, spoiler-free.
Yes. I can't stand being spoiled on this show. It drives me crazy.
That's a good point.
So if anybody comes in the chat here, post comments, any type of spoilers, any type of like betting market predictions for anything. Like, yeah. Well, I just don't want it. I'll probably block you or ban you or whatever. But don't bring that to our channel.
Anyway. All right. So let's get to our previous episode recap. It started with the successful idol plant at the end of Tribal Council last week.
Started with the tripping. And then the idol plant.
Yes. So how do you feel about that? Any difference from last week? Anything different that you feel after you digested the episode?
Nothing regarding that. If I rewatched episode 2 on my own, and I will say after rewatching episode 2, I want to note the Devins and Joe beef. I side with Joe in that. I think Joe is being pretty reasonable. I don't want to go too deep into it because it was last week's episode, but I really do think Joe is being reasonable. The whole time he was talking to Rick, he was like, look, man, I'm just trying to talk to you and get information out of you. And Rick was acting real sketchy and just kind of like fumbling his words and being kind of weird. So like,
yeah.
Well, man, I think last week I said I got to rewatch what we said, but I think I said I was on Rick's side there. I totally flip over to Joe's side on that. I don't know. I like the way Joe plays, man. He's very straight up. He's a strong physical player. He's loyal to his allies. He's not a big strategist, but that works for him. He doesn't have to be a big strategist, man. Just play a loyal game and it'll take you to the end.
Yeah. I think I also was on Devin's side last week, but I wouldn't quite say I'm 100% on Joe's side, but I have kind of swayed towards the middle, and I can see both sides of it. I know I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but just like we said multiple times last week, beginning of the season, Joe is going to have to get used to playing with liars and
Just better players, man. He played on a season
Yeah.
of rookies that like didn't want to make moves. It was kind of a cakewalk to the end for him and his alliance.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
so that's just something he's going to have to get used to. I mean, if Devins was truly his number one or number two or his true alliance, like the edit showed, again, I agree where Joe is kind of upset about not hearing the truth from Devins. But again, at the same time, he's just going to have to get used to being played. He's not riding with Shaheen. He's not riding with Eva, and he's not riding to the end with a whole bunch of trustful people.
Well, it's always a chance he links up because he's got some potential on his new tribe, man. He's really set up for success over there. Also, I don't think that tribe is going to lose. We can get into that later, but
yeah,
he's linked up already with Coach and Colby, who have always been very straight up players, similar play style to him. So maybe he could cruise to the end, man. He's had a pretty good edit so far, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if he's around for a while.
Yeah, I will say I am happy to see the three of them together.
I'm looking at our longevity rankings from last week, and you were pretty low on Joe, man. I don't know. That was one of the people I mentioned might be a little underrated, but we'll get to that when we get to
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to bring up as
while we're on that topic, hold on. I gotta bring up a message from chat here. Who emulates the best warrior code between Coach, Joe, and Colby? Chase, what's your thought on that?
Who brings up the best warrior code? I would have to say Colby on that one.
I mean, the honest answer from my heart is Coach. I mean, he is the Dragon Slayer. So he invented the warrior code. So, I mean,
one thing that I wanted to bring up later when we were bringing up warrior code was that a Dropkick Murphys reference?
I'm not super familiar with that band. I know like 2 songs by them. What
Warrior's Code is literally a song that Dropkick Murphys one of their song titles. So okay. I was like, now that the coach has gotten close with Ben Katzman and touring with rock bands, Dropkick Murphys is a Irish rock band.
No, I know Dropkick Murphys. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. I want to get into that tribe a little more though. Before we get into it, what were your thoughts on Chris? We were talking about Devins and his alliance. What are your thoughts on on Christian spilling the beans to Emily at the last second about the boomerang idol being in possession by Aubrey? You think that was a good move?
So, before spilling the beans to Emily, the question I wanted to ask you was, how did you feel about Christian spilling the beans to Cirie? That was like right at the beginning of the episode, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that one.
It seemed like they highlighted that for a reason. It'll probably come up in the future. That was my thought there. It didn't seem to have a big impact on this episode, but they mentioned that stuff for a reason. So I don't think there's too much.
I don't think Cirie was the right person to tell, though. That's kind of like where I was getting at. Is I don't think Cirie is the biggest social player and one of the biggest concerns for social playing for a lot of these players this season. And giving her more ammunition like that, why would you tell Cirie on day 6 that your ally has an idol when she's not in your close alliance? That did not make sense to me. I think that was Christian's first mistake of this season.
It's hard to put yourself in the position of these players, and when you're so tired and thirsty and hungry and depleted, sometimes you just say things and you don't realize you said it, and then it's too late. So it could be something he regrets. We'll see. I think they highlighted it for a reason, though.
Again, I agree. I just don't think it was a good decision. That's why I was asking you. I was like, what do you think about?
I don't have too much input on it yet. I think we'll get a little more insight on that in the future. But it was highlighted for a reason. So I don't know, man. I feel like he's been able to keep his original tribal, like just the overall vibes on that tribe pretty good.
Yeah.
He's been able to keep them cohesive and voting together. And I think in the early stage that works well, especially when you go into a tribe swap positions. That was probably his mindset there is let's just keep everybody cohesive and on the same page. So in case there's a tribe swap, we can all vote together and target the other tribes and then reunite. That's probably what he was thinking. But the real decision that I question is telling Emily. I think that was the misplay there, especially doing it so literally last second. I mean, you could even see Joe behind them in the moment, like kind of leaning in, trying to hear, like, what are they whispering about? What's going on there? And then it immediately backfires hard on him.
I mean, that one I'm not as upset about telling Emily. I mean, I love the Devins Christian Emily alliance. I think it makes total sense, especially bringing in Aubrey, going into a tribe swap. I just think it could have been executed better. And again, just like Nick said earlier, we're not on the island. We're not in the same mindset they are. They're a lot more deprived than we are. So watching it is a lot different than playing it. But as a viewer, I can say I think it was a smart thing to do, but there is a lot more time on the island that we didn't see in the edit, where Christian and Devins definitely could have found time.
Yeah, you got to do it earlier in the day.
Yeah. The fact that they said, oh, we didn't have time, and Joe was always with her 24/7, I don't buy that. They definitely could have found time to talk to Emily about the idol.
I'm going to highlight another quick message in the chat here from our boy Mike. My winner pick is Christian number 1, Cirie number 2. I love the Christian pick. Ooh. I just don't think Cirie could ever win this game, man. Do you think the jury would ever? The jury would probably vote for her in a landslide, but they're not going to let her get there.
They're never going to let Cirie get there. Christian personally is also my number 1 pick currently. It was from day one. It was from before this season started. Christian is my number 1 pick, and it still will be.
All right. Well, speaking of weird things in Survivor, I'm just going to transition to this. We got to talk about the drop your buff wrap. Oh man, I think that's the first time in a while I literally put my head down in shame watching Survivor. Man, that was hard to watch. What do you guys think? Chat, what do you guys think? Chase, what was your thoughts on the drop your buffs wrap?
Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not even gonna play both sides, but I was cringing.
Yeah, dude.
Like I understand trying to get with the new people who are watching and whatnot and having fun and whatnot, but I personally had secondhand embarrassment watching that.
I wonder if it's like them using Gen Z kids or just getting influence from the youth of what they can do. But God, that was rough,
can we practice snapping in time?
Snap. Yeah, it was rough, man.
Snap.
It was rough.
Snap.
It's like next level of chicken and waffles. I think he was so satisfied with the chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles, yeah.
Let's bring that element to season 50. And
I take that back. You're right. Chicken and waffles is the first time I had secondhand embarrassment. This was the second time I've had secondhand embarrassment.
Chicken and waffles wasn't as bad because it was at least kind of on theme and the people were really, really into it. But this one was hard. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to stick with this show forever, but really don't want to see more of that. It's tough. I don't know. Who does that appeal to? Little kids?
It's more. I mean, you gotta. Okay, so think about it. You got to go back to the first time you got into Survivor when we were toddlers, 5-6 years old. Insane youth. I have no comment towards that one.
That was hilarious. I had to highlight that. Oh, that was so
funny. I just lost my train of thought after.
Fairly accurate, man. I'm not gonna lie, Sam. You passed your energy pretty accurate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on from the cringe. I don't.
All right. So
Jeff, if you ever see this, just go back to old school Jeff. Just be mean again.
Okay, yeah. That's where I was going. I was like, all right, you gotta put yourself like when you were a kid. Like, what got you into Survivor? And now, as the generations change, parents get older, parents raise their people differently. We don't need to get into that here. They're trying to appeal to the new younger generation. So if they're into the TikTok trends, I mean, that's kind of something that is kind of equivalent to a TikTok trend.
I could see this being a play for the short form content. They had plans going into this episode to make the rap something that goes big on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Exactly.
So if we see that all over social media, that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't want to harp on the negative too much. Let's go into that tribe swap. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. I was like, next we have the tribe swap.
Yeah, it seemed like from the beginning of the tribe swap, I immediately clocked Purple Tribe probably has lower chemistry levels compared to the others. And we were watching together, and that tribe might just be like a sinking ship, to be honest with you. I don't see much cohesion there.
That might be our next disaster.
Strongest man.
We didn't really quite have a disaster tribe like we had predicted. But this might be the disaster tribe that we did predict. It wasn't necessarily pre-merge, or pre-swap, but
it's tough because we're probably losing Steph next week unless like she finds an idol or gets a boomerang idol or hits a shot in the dark. She's probably toast. And I don't know, man. Would Ozzy play the idol on her? Probably not. Would somebody boomerang her an idol? Maybe. Does she have an ally that would do that? I guess Colby. They didn't find the Green Tribe idol. I believe they didn't find the Green Tribe idol yet, so that one's still on the board. So maybe Colby finds one and sends it her way. But other than that, Steph's in a rough spot, and I'm real bummed about that. I'm pretty sure I drafted Steph and Colby in our fantasy league. Sorry, Steph and Q in our fantasy. I know I drafted Q. He's my second round pick. He's coaching the Q for me. But God, man, I'm just so bummed about losing Q. It's such an entertaining player. Such a hilarious alpha male that has no strategic acumen. Like it's just such a tough loss.
I honestly wasn't surprised that Q went home so early. But for our viewers and watchers who need a reminder, our tribe swap players. We have Charlie, D, Rizzo, Camilla, Jonathan, Suri, and Devins on Sela, which is orange. We have Aubrey, Joe, Genevieve, Colby, Tiff, Coach, and Chrissy on Kahlo, which is blue. And we have Christian, Emily, Ozzy, Mike, Angelina, Stephanie, and Q on Vatu, who is purple.
And then they're the disaster tribe.
And then purple is by far, you could easily see after the swap after the swap that, they were. They're
going to struggle.
They're going to struggle.
Another thing, Christian not being able to close out challenges. By the way, second week in a row, he was in the end game of a challenge and couldn't seal the deal for his tribe. Man,
I think it's more the tribe chemistry. So, I mean, the contestants he was matched up with were more physical contestants, and you know how he talks. He's more of a scientific person, and he uses large words and words that a lot of people might not understand. And an environment like that, I feel like he's just not being direct enough. He's not saying go straight. I actually do have a comment about a few things he said earlier, but
it surprises me that the tribe went with him. He's such a soft-spoken, quiet guy, and that type of a challenge, you really need someone who can scream and yell. I've always thought to myself, like we talked about challenges last week, I've always thought to myself, if I'm in this game, if I'm in this specific challenge, I am adamant to my tribe that I am the voice here because I'm a loud person. I love my voice being heard. I love screaming. And I mean, that's the role for me, man. Go straight, left, no, turn around. And another aspect of it is like you have to out yell the other shouters, and he was getting out yelled by Camilla, and I honestly forget who the other yeller was at this point.
It was
like couldn't hear him.
It was Camilla, Chrissy, and Chrissy. Chrissy was the other caller.
Yeah, because she was directing the puzzle.
I will say it was a funny edit, and there were a few direct moments where he had a good edit where it was with the clapping, forward, 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 faster Q, faster Q.
And they were like, I think he was blocked because he couldn't see the actual ring that was on the ground. So that also made it challenging for him. I think that set Q back a little bit when they were trying to retrieve the puzzle. But damn, dude, that tribe is going to struggle, especially without Q. If they get into another physical challenge, if they got to carry a big snake or a boat or something, like they are going to struggle. Can't rely on Ozzy to do everything for you. I mean, maybe if it's a puzzle, they can do well, but who knows? All right, so let's get back on a coach's tribe. There's a lot I want to talk about over there. He tells Chrissy that she needs to just chill the hell out. I thought that was really funny, and then it got deep quick.
It got super deep. I mean, I didn't know Chrissy's story. I feel like that kind of was a reveal to everyone. I don't think that was in.
I knew about it because it was talked about on social media a while ago.
Okay.
Back right after that situation happened, it was highlighted by the official Survivor accounts. A lot of people in the community were like donating to her charities and things. But I didn't know it was as intense as they showed it. I guess I didn't follow the situation that closely. That's awesome. It's awesome that she survived that and
oh, for sure,
made it this far in life. So credit where credit is due there. But that really went from like a haha moment to me to like, ooh, this is serious. This is rough. And again, they highlight this stuff in the reason. They show this stuff in the edit for a reason. That's got to tell me that she's going to turn her game around and change up the way she's playing.
I think she's going to take what Coach said to heart.
Yeah, I think she's going to take it, no pun intended, as like good advice from a coach.
Yeah.
So that was cool to see. Do you think they'll work together?
I think it's too early to tell. If they both make it to merge, I could see them potentially working together. Honestly, what I called out again before the season started, if the old school alliance or the old school people can make it to the end together, they're going to stick together and someone from old school is going to win. So yeah, I could definitely, if Coach and Chrissy end up making it to the end, they're absolutely going to work together.
I would really like to see this season become a melting pot and not turn to like an old school versus new school faction battle like we saw in Winners at War. I would just be nice to have a nice blend and have it all intertwined and not mixed up. So I kind of hope that doesn't happen.
I feel like we're already starting to see it. Most of the alliances, I mean, we have a New Era alliance.
New Era girls have all linked up.
We have a new school alliance, and then we have a old school alliance. So it's kind of like all three eras are separated.
And the beefs are, aside from Coach and Ozzy, the beefs are like seeming to be old school versus new school.
Yeah, I mean, most of the beasts are old school versus new school, and then the new era is just being like, all right, we'll pick you guys off, and then it's just going to end up being old school versus new school. Which I called out at the beginning in the draft. I'm hoping that comes to fruition. So I think the next thing that kind of happened after that is... we kind of went to Sela for a brief moment, and Dee and Jonathan were calling out Cirie. This was, right after the tribe swap. Dee and Jonathan were saying, all right, if we go to tribal, Cirie's the one who needs to go. What do you think about that?
I wrote that in my my notes here. She's the early target on her tribe. I think they hinted at that. I just don't think that tribe's going to lose, man. If it comes down to it, she probably does get targeted. Maybe she'll use her advantage that Ozzy gave her to swing some momentum her way, but I also just really don't think that tribe's going to lose.
I honestly think that
they got to give us some drama. They got to give us a little hint of something to just keep us like a morsel coming. But
I think Rizzo might be the first from that tribe.
That's kind of the vibe
honest,
I get too. Yeah,
because there were a lot of edits throughout throughout tonight's episode that Rizzo quite hasn't made those connections, and people are still annoyed at him. They haven't gotten used to him yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of beefs like between. I wanted to make this point earlier between the old school and new school. We got Devins versus Joe. We have Aubrey versus Genevieve, and then there was one more I thought of but forgot about. But yeah, and speaking of another one, I guess this would be new school versus new school. And going off your Rizzo point here, Charlie is holding a secret grudge against Rizzo over one comment he heard.
That was annoying.
I also think that was kind of a lame move. Like, Charlie, chill out, man. I think you are overreacting a bit. It's a comment, and you lost fair and square, man.
Nick, I have one question for you here. If you and I ended up on the same season, and you and I are like with some of our best friends, if someone else played a better game than I did, would you vote for them or for me?
I think it really depends on the context. I would like to say my decision would be game-based as a juror, but I'm also a very spiteful person in general. So if I have like a Russell Hantz type character sitting on the jury who I just despise, it would be hard to justify voting for them if they played a better game if I just like you more as a person. So I think it's hard to put yourself in the position of a jury because every jury is so different and the context of every season is different. But like Charlie said in his season, the jury always makes the correct decision. So, dude, get over it. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater here, but that seemed like a bit of an overreaction to me. And targeting Rizzo over a simple comment like that, maybe he's got some trauma he hasn't moved on from. But Charlie, what the heck, man?
It also makes me really sad to hear that like him and Maria haven't talked. Like, he was supposed to be Uncle Charlie.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, he was clearly very bitter after that season.
Ended, it doesn't surprise me, but it makes me sad. Like,
it seemed like Maria was bitter that Charlie made it further than him, but it's her prerogative, man. It's her right to vote for who she wants to vote for. So you can't blame her. And
no,
I didn't realize Charlie was going to be this much of a sore loser about it. It really surprised me. I thought he was like, I thought he was better than that. I'll give him that. I had faith in Charlie that he'd be better than that. The way he handled himself in his post-game press in the actual moment when he lost and was sitting there at the on the island reunion show, he seemed like he was handling it very well. He's clearly harboring some emotions or some trauma about it that stayed with him. So that really surprised me there. I was kind of shocked to hear that. And Rizzo's not going to see it coming, man. Maybe you're right. Maybe Rizzo's next on the chopping block there. And all it takes is Cirie Fields getting one tiny sniff of that information, and she's going to spin that whole thing against Rizzo.
Exactly.
And then he's gone because they all love her. So we'll see, man.
So how many seasons are we going to see of Cirie doing the same thing? In every single season.
What she does.
Someone says, we need to get Cirie out because of this. And the first person who says that gets out, because why would you go against Cirie? And next thing you know, you're sitting against Cirie in the final 6, and Cirie only gets voted out because everyone has an idol. Or so else she would... Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Keep talking about Cirie. I was going to bring up something else with Cirie, but it's cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, or else, you're sitting against Cirie in the final 5 if no one else has an idol.
Because... Yeah, I mean, with her, it's to the point. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm so excited to talk about Cirie. I can't help it.
I've made my point. Go ahead.
It's fascinating to me that she has the same strategy every time she plays the game, and it works. Everybody loves her. Like, it's just so natural that you hear Cirie. Dee and Jonathan are literally like, yeah, I know what she's doing. I'm falling under her spell, and I like it.
And I like it. And I'm her number one.
Yeah, I'm going to work with her. I feel the hypnotics working. So, yeah, Cirie potentially in a good spot here. It seems like she's the target, but she also, very well could be in a good spot and just Charlie comes to her, hey, I want to vote out Rizzo. Cerie's going to pounce like a freaking wildcat, just going to pounce on that information. Yep. All right, so I want to get into Emily a little bit. She made 3 wild, chaotic moves tonight that really just shook up the whole dynamics of her tribe. She told Q and Ozzy that Aubrey has an idol. She told Angelina that Q and Steph were like low-key targeting her on their old tribe, which was just a complete shock to Angelina. Like totally sent her into a frenzy, which had her crying and evaluating her game the same way Chrissy was, which good for Emily to establish that relationship. And then she also tells Christian that she spilled the beans with the Aubrey secret and then sends Christian into a frenzy. So Emily is just an agent of chaos, and it's not even intentional the same way Q is an agent of chaos.
We got
really
chaos.
Funny stuff.
We got Chaos Cass, but in Emily form, in also completely different way.
In a polite form.
In a polite form, yes.
Yeah. Chaos Emily. Unintentional. And she sits there with those puppy dog eyes, like she doesn't know what's wrong. Like, oops.
And she's like, Christian,
please
don't be mad, but I told everyone everything.
Yeah. Christian's like physical reactions were so funny too, where he's just like, no. So yeah, I found that really entertaining. Emily gets the award tonight for most entertaining player on this episode, in my opinion. I really enjoyed her. She had a great episode for me. I think she's going far. She's got a lot of allies. Everybody seems to trust her. She hasn't been brought up once as a target, man. I think she might be going deep.
Yeah, no, I think Emily is going to go pretty far this season. I mean, again, I think that Emily, Christian, Devins, and potentially Aubrey, if they make it merge, I think those 4 are gonna make a pretty big dent in this season.
So let's get into the topic of Aubrey now that we've mentioned her name a few times. The beef between her and Genevieve is really like we're beyond a simmer and we're at a small boil at this point, and it's gonna start boiling fast, dude. I'm worried for Genevieve because Aubrey's got an idol, and now that it's become public knowledge, she's going to feel very inclined to just play it and get it out of her hands, and she could easily use it to just take out Genevieve.
Yeah, absolutely.
I might be putting Genevieve in our pick'em game as the next vote out next week. I think I'm very worried about Genevieve's position, but I also think it's a strong chance that the purple tribe just continues to spiral. So it might be Steph for me. We'll see. It's probably Steph or Genevieve on my list. But if that tribe goes to tribal, I'm very worried about Genevieve's position in the game.
And speaking of idols, another thing I wanted to bring up is before Q got voted out, is Q told Ozzy Genevieve was the one who gave him the idol. So that's another thing too, is now Genevieve knows that Ozzy sent her an idol. So we got a lot of idols that play around.
Other way around. Ozzy knows it's Genevieve.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's valuable information. And maybe Ozzy will because he not only did he tell I'm mixing it up in my head the same way you did. Not only did he tell Ozzy that Genevieve sent it, but he also explained the details of the boomerang.
Yes.
Which I think Ozzy was processing that, and in his head he was like, maybe that's gonna put a target on my back secretly.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing I was thinking about that is once we switched over to Kahlo, was Genevieve was actually playing a completely different social game. She had one-on-ones with every single person on her tribe. She went from only speaking to no one to speaking to everyone. Is that going to hurt her or is that going to help her?
We'll see. I'm very worried about her position in the game. So I don't know if her relationships might even matter. She could just get idled out by Aubrey.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is kind of on Genevieve's side except for Tiff.
Dude, how crazy would it be? How crazy would it be if Genevieve finds a boomerang idol, sends it to someone else, and then gets idled out by someone else's boomerang idol. So she found an advantage. And on top of that, she successfully clocked that Aubrey had a boomerang idol.
Yeah.
And then she gets taken out by a boomerang idol. She found an advantage, doesn't get to use it, and then gets taken out by someone who didn't do anything and received an advantage.
Man, that would be insane.
I think the Mother Vive trope on Twitter and X and Blue Sky would probably freak the fuck out about that.
I still think I'm pretty spot on about the whole where I clocked the idol last week, where Aubrey actually found it, she hit it, and then they went through her bag. After everything that went down this week, I'm like 99% sure that's how it went down.
Yeah, the editors like to tell a story and manufacture drama, so you never know. But again, I do find it very interesting that like Genevieve gets on the beach and immediately starts like just throwing out rumors and just saying Aubrey's name.
But everyone believes her except for Tiff. Everyone is on her side.
Right, but that doesn't matter if Aubrey's got an idol and just is like, I'm just going to use it.
But
I know the votes are coming my way. No, I don't think they're going to lose. No. I think Purple's going to spiral. I think Vatu is Purple, right? I think Vatu is going to spiral here.
Yeah.
So yeah, you did mention Tiff tells Aubrey that Jen is the target. So that I think that's going to solidify their alliance. Yep, that's going to make them stronger and tighter. But yeah, dude, how funny was it when Rizzo brought up the Maria thing to Charlie? I can't not discuss that. That was so funny. I was cracking up. And it ties back into Charlie being a sore loser about it, but
and then we see this close up of Charlie.
Bug eyes.
He looks like he sounds like Maria. He's gotta go.
Just steaming, sitting there quietly steaming, man. Yeah. You could tell there's definitely some deep.
He didn't vote for Soph. I don't care that she was getting third. He was her number one. He should have gotten her vote.
Yeah, Charlie's going to hold that against him, and who knows how it'll play out, man. And so do you think if that tribe loses, is he going to publicly? I guess not publicly, but is he going to like actively target Rizzo?
I don't think he's going to. Yeah, I would say actively with like a close 1 or 2. I mean, obviously they need 4 actually, but I don't think it's going to be super public. I think it's going to be a little bit behind the scenes, but I would say that Charlie is going to try to pitch Rizzo.
Does he have enough pull on that tribe to make that happen, do you think?
So let me see again.
Yeah, is it posted? Are the new tribes posted?
Yeah, so again, we got Charlie, D, Rizzo, Camilla, Jonathan, Sari, and Devins.
That just feels like a toss-up. I also feel like that tribe's not going to lose.
I don't feel like that tribe's going to lose, but I don't feel like they have a tight. I feel like this is going to turn into a voting block. Actually, I don't think he has enough pull to actually specifically get out Rizzo.
I don't see the votes swinging back on him.
I could see it going on D. I could see it going on Camilla.
Right, I was going to bring up D
Sari. I could see it going on Rizzo. Like there's a lot of people who I could see it going on.
So my initial thought on that tribe, if they do get in trouble, is Sari is they highlighted her for a reason. She's the easy target, and then it potentially swings to Rizzo. I don't really see a situation where it swings back to Charlie unless he makes some drastic fuck up or like angers someone.
I don't think so either. And
but honestly, maybe him and Rizzo start beefing the same way that Genevieve and Aubrey are beefing. Who knows? Rizzo's a sensitive guy. If he gets wind that Charlie's targeting him, he's going to cry about it and then take it to heart and get angry.
And honestly, I think Jonathan and Devins are actually probably 2 of the most safe ones going on. Which is crazy to say, but
we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll do our longevity rankings. I think we'll probably be in alignment on most of them this week.
But there was another.
Anything else from the tribe swap you wanted to bring up before I start going in on the immunity challenge? I know we briefly.
There was one thing I did want to bring up before immunity challenge, and again, this was still on the same lines as the Charlie Maria thing. Kenzie deserved to win.
Yeah, I agree. I've always thought that myself. I think she played a better social game. I don't want to sound like too much of a hater, but I think a lot of Charlie's quote unquote moves in that season were kind of groupthink, a lot of moves that the whole group was on board with, and he tried to claim credit for. And I think Kenzie did a better job of doing the Gabler strategy, where it was like, hey, we all made these moves together. I was just a part of the group. Whereas Charlie tried to own those moves and say that he led them. And a lot of people saw through that and was like, did you really lead them, or were we all thinking the same thing?
Also, with Maria sitting right there on the jury, I mean, she got time in Ponderosa with them to say, like, hey, I actually did this. I actually did this.
Like, I really do think she led a lot of the moves that Charlie claimed.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Maria definitely led a lot of the votes. And
I also think Kenzie played an all-time good social game, like one of the top 10 best social games in the history of the show. Everybody loved her. Literally every single person on that season loved her and said that like they would love her in real life and hang out with her in real life, be friends with her. She left that season with no enemies, and Charlie left the season with at least one bad relationship with Maria, and that's literally all it takes to lose the game of Survivor. We saw it right there. So I don't know. I don't want to like throw too much shade at Charlie, but the sore loser behavior tonight really shocked me. I thought he was better than that. I really did.
So the immunity challenge, just kind of like, let's go about it how we started it with last week as well. What were your opinions on the immunity challenge?
It's not super fun to watch blindfolded challenges. I think they were more appealing in old school Survivor. The puzzle was pretty easy. I know they're blindfolded, but it's like all about communication, but it wasn't like a challenging puzzle. I know you don't want to keep them out there forever and have like an impossible puzzle, but maybe it could have been a little harder. Maybe you just cut the wood like in half each piece, so there's like twice the amount of pieces. I think the obstacles were hard enough. We saw Colby take a nasty shot to the head. We saw one of the rings land on Rizzo's head. It seemed like it was like physically challenging enough. It didn't feel like completely recycled like some of these other challenges did. All in all, I felt pretty neutral on that immunity challenge, which is honestly a good thing for New Era Survivor because I'm negative on most of the challenges unless they're like new and innovative. Like I guess a good example of a new and innovative New Era challenge that I loved was the final immunity challenge in season 46. The one with the giant Plinko board they have to run to.
Yeah.
Ben Katzman won it, I believe.
Yep, Ben Katzman won that one. Yep. You threw it up and then you ran and built the puzzle.
So I know we're in season 50 and you gotta like get a lot of challenges built quickly for this. So we're probably gonna see a lot of recycled elements to these, but I don't know, man. I guess I'm just asking too much here, expecting too much from production, but could have been a little more intricate. What are your thoughts on it?
I kind of want to say the same as you. I'm pretty neutral on this one. This was one of the challenges that was done in the old school / new school era. So I do like to see one of these come back. I mean, one thing I do like to see, I wish I could have seen, was more of the way they used to do it, where you go out and collect an object and then you have to go and pull the strings. You put the object on the board on front of the platform, and then you have to pull the strings to get it up with your teammates. That would have been
we had one element to that. They had to take the rings back and put them on.
Well, they had to put the I guess. Yeah, okay. You know what? You're right. Yep. I could see that. But I'm talking straight up, like run out and get an object, come back, pull it up, run out, get an object, pull it up. I think there were quite a few moments in the history.
What I wouldn't give for a physical challenge in the new era, man. Yeah, when are we going to get some body-on-body contact? Is that just never going to happen in Survivor again, do you think? Chat, what do you all think? If anybody's still messing around in our chat, tell me what you think. Is there any chance that we get a physical body-on-body human contact challenge in New Era Survivor? Or is that just a thing in the past at this point? I'm really curious what you all think here.
And another thing I do want to say about the challenge is I rescind what I said about the challenge last week, the immunity, with the snake one. with dragging the snake and then having the 3 people pull the rings. I am now on season 47 rewatch, and I realized that literally the first immunity challenge was that challenge. So that was a reused challenge.
Yeah, they've done it a few times in the new era.
Within the past 3 seasons, and they may have done it again. So last week when I said, cool, it was immunity challenge, I don't like to see a reuse challenge that recently.
Just it's too good of a comment to not display here. Doubt it happens in challenges. There might be some body-on-body contact between Mike and Ozzy at camp. 2 very good-looking men, I will say. Mike White, jacked as hell. Those abs are bulging, and I mean, we all know Ozzy's got a body. He displays it online. We'll just leave it at that.
What happens at the sanctuary stays at the sanctuary.
Great comment, Sam. I love that. That made me laugh. You've been on fire tonight. All right, so post-challenge, we get back to camp. Mike tells Steph straight up, "You're the vote."
Yep. Yeah, that was
actually
a
decoy. Yeah,
it was a decoy. I mean, that was bold, but
he's a savage.
Yeah, I mean, Mike gives it to you straight to your face, and you believe him because he's Mike, and
you also want to be on the White Lotus.
And you also
yeah, and then Q straight up says, "No, vote for me." So,
and then in typical Q fashion.
I love Q, man. And speaking of the White Lotus, they showed the cameo from that. I didn't expect that, man.
That was really cool. Yeah, they actually showed Angela's cameo.
I'm trying to think back. I've seen every season of the show more than once. Have we seen any other TV shows directly snipped in Survivor before?
No, I don't think so.
I'm curious about this, man. I wonder.
We've seen old Survivor clips, but I don't think we've ever.
I think they showed a clip of the movie Jack and Jill back in Heroes Villains.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, they did. So back in the teens to early 20s when they were doing the movie reward, which the Sanctuary replaced it now, but they used to show small clips every once in a while
of the movies, right?
Of the preview of the movie upcoming,
right? But I was talking about another TV show.
But no, as far as that was the only thing close to it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I wonder if there's something we're forgetting in the 20s and 30s, maybe. Who knows, man? But I'm sure we'll hear about that on social media if it has. I'm sure people are going to talk about that White Lotus clip. I've never seen the White Lotus myself. I know it's super popular. I know it's an extremely popular show.
I know this is reality TV, but stepping outside for a second, go watch White Lotus.
Have you seen every season of it?
I've seen the first 2 seasons, so I'm only 1 season behind.
Well, we can talk about that off air.
Yeah.
If we're recommending shows, you got to get on the Traitors, but let's not talk about that.
And before we get back to Survivor, Nick and I were discussing we do want to shout out some Survivor content each and every week. So since we're kind of wrapping up the episode, this week's shout out, if you're missing the old Jeff, the Jeff that yells at people, the Jeff that, kind of tells you, why did you belly flop? Get the hell out of here. You screwed up. Go follow JaxterFett3 on Instagram. That is a JaxterFett3. So what this guy does is he voices over old Survivor clips.
I think it's AI, right?
It is AI. I'm 99% sure he uses AI, but he uses vulgar language on people messing up on things, and he's like, "Get the F out of here," or "What the hell was that?" or stuff like that. It's super funny. You'd have to go actually watch it and see it yourself.
This is a comment I agree with right here. Nice Mean Jeff should have been a fan vote. Could not agree
that
more,
would have been amazing.
Or maybe just old school versus new school Grandpa Jeff. Do we want old school Savage Jeff, or do we want nice doing raps at Tribe Swap, Jeff, because I would vote for Cowboy Hat Angry Jeff 100 times out of 100. Thank you, Stoslin, for that. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Sorry, I shouldn't say man. We don't know the gender of Stoslin, but yeah, you couldn't agree more with your comment there. I would certainly vote for Mean Jeff. All right, well, I will say, speaking of Mean Jeff at Tribal, he did bring up food over and over again just to troll Mike. That was pretty funny. I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
That little clip made up for him doing his snappy rappy thing.
No more popcorn and licorice at Tribal. I think that never comes back.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, no more food at Tribal. But I do think Christian has entered the territory of Jeff's favorite players because he's now referred to as Hugh Bickey at Tribal, and that's
huge.
Yeah. I know he's referred to Colby as Donaldson. I know he's referred to Rick as Devins. Anybody else on this season? Last name level. Who else we got last name level? I don't think anybody else.
I'm surprised he hasn't called Sari Fields, but
he tends to do it towards men. They called him out for that in Winners at War. They tend
It was who was it that did that? It was Sarah.
Yeah, Lucina. Yeah.
All right, well now yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say now it's time for everyone's favorite time of the week here, our longevity rankings.
Well, hold on. Also, I mean, Q was voted out. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it at the beginning. I did see a comment here from one of our commenters, Sam. Y'all think if Q kept his vote, he'd be safe? Think he was screwed regardless? Sam, I think you're right. I think you're correct.
Yeah,
he kept his vote. He's probably not safe. Maybe he plays the shot in the dark, but also he's a straight up freaking wild card. So I don't know what Q would have done. Maybe he throws a rogue vote at Steph. I don't know.
Just why not?
I don't think Q would play a shot in the dark. So I think Sam's right here. He's probably screwed regardless. Yeah, I was trying to avoid talking about Q because he's my new era favorite. It's just devastating to lose him this early. Too early for me. No drama with him. We didn't get any drama out of him so far. Didn't get any real drama out of Angelina so far. It's just way more surprising than I thought it would be.
Do you think Ozzy should have used his idol to save Q?
No, I don't. And the reason why is because Q's not a guaranteed ally for him. So, like, what does that do for Ozzy? It just angers the rest of his tribe because it throws off who they want to vote for. And then who do you have after that? You have Q and Steph, and then you're still in the minority. So I think Ozzy's much better off saving that for himself. I don't know. Do you think Ozzy should have done that?
I think Ozzy also made the right choice by saving it for himself. Again, we're probably expecting another tribe swap soon. And when I say soon, within the next 3 to 4 vote outs, or maybe an early merge with 16 people, which would be insane too. And
he's gonna need it at the merge. Ozzy's just a classic merge boot.
I think it was a good choice by Ozzy to save his advantage. And speaking of Ozzy, another thing that was brought up at Tribal, one thing that I personally didn't notice while I was watching was this is Ozzy's first season where he hasn't won a single challenge. He's lost every challenge the first 3 episodes.
Is he sandbagging?
I mean, obviously not. You saw him in that first episode. I think Ozzy's just gotten some stupid luck with the teams that he's been placed on. And
Steph sent the energy to Ozzy.
Yeah, Steph sent the energy to Ozzy. I mean, that was actually brought up this episode too, where Steph was the only person, for any viewers who haven't seen earlier seasons, Stephanie was the only person who has ever ended up on a tribe of 1. Back in the old days when there were disaster tribes and they didn't do tribe swaps. There was a tribe of 2. It was Stephanie and Chris. Bobby John, that's right. Yeah, it was Steph and Bobby John. They lost an immunity challenge.
Went to fire.
They went to fire. And Steph won at fire, and she became the first person to be the only tribe of 1. before obviously an impending tribe swap after that. But
Bobby John, another all-time great old school character. Just want to throw a shout out to Bobby John. I love when he went chest to chest with Jamie, screaming, "Ah!" God, such a great season. Such a great season. So are we locking in Steph in the last spot?
Yeah,
is she done?
I
think she's toast.
Yep. Yeah, Purple's a disaster tribe.
Yeah, I think she's toast. Who do you got after that? Last week we had this as our rankings. I think
I don't want to look at I don't care about last week's.
All right, that's fair. Let me pull up the lineups here while I get into this here. So, anybody else you're really low on? Let's start from the bottom this week. Who are you
Same
feeling
thing with
low
Chrissy.
on?
I'm still feeling Chrissy.
You don't think she's going to recover?
Not yet. I think she's still.
We haven't seen it. We've seen her talk about it, but we haven't seen it yet. Chat, if you all want to give some input on our longevity rankings here, feel free to. We've had a lot of comments post show about our rankings, so give us input live while you have the opportunity to influence us. I'm very low on Steph and Chrissy, so I'm with you there. I think I'm low on Rizzo after what we saw this week.
Yep,
and
I agree.
I think I'm low on Cirie as well, man. Are you willing to put her this low?
Yes, I actually am. Yeah, I think Cirie's in trouble. She does not have herself solidified with this new tri-swap. Another one who doesn't have theirself is Genevieve.
I was just about to say, I would even argue Genevieve could be below Cirie and Rizzo here. What number are you thinking on Genevieve? I think we're kind of splitting hairs, but
I'd just put her at 16, 17, 18. On the record, they're pretty much about the same right now.
Yeah. I think I'm going to put her at 18 and then just move the other two up.
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. On top of those.
So now we're kind of getting into the middle ground. Is there any others that... I mean, I could...
I'm low on... it's Charlie for me and Angelina as well. I feel kind of low on them. I think they were highlighted for a reason. I think I'm lower on Angelina than Charlie.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I would say Angelina.
And the reason I'm low on Charlie is I think we saw that highlighted for a reason. He could be overplaying his hand a bit, and that could always backfire.
And I think it's going to get him in trouble. The way that he went about that, I think he's going to... Sure, they might take Rizzo out, but they're going to see that he's trying to play the game and he's being cutthroat, and kind of the same thing that he did with Maria. They're going to say, oh, he's making the decision, so now we can take him out because that's one less threat because they made a decision.
All right, so moving up from there, I think I got to put D in this range. Last winner. It's just a very easy thing if things get wonky.
Oh, you didn't put Charlie.
Oh, thank you. I think if things get wonky, it's very easy to point and just be like, winner, get her out of here. Bye-bye. Let's have a new winner on this season. So do you have any gripes on putting D there?
No.
I think I need to still be bottom half with Aubrey personally, just because we know she's being targeted. She's probably going to play her idol, but we know she is being targeted. Any thoughts on Aubrey?
Nope. No, that was the next one I was gonna bring up. But the next I would say is to wrap out the final 20. I would say Emily.
Okay, she is playing hard. I am on board with that.
She's playing hard. She's playing a lot of angles. She's being mouthy. She's spilling everything to a lot of people. And how long can you keep someone who is
chaotic?
Yeah,
you can't trust her word. Yeah,
you can't trust her word. And I'm actually so sad to see that she unraveled so early. I was really loving her redemption era, and just tonight was brutal.
So I was really high on Ozzy. I was actually fighting you over Ozzy last week. After this week, the position he ended up in the tribe swap, I'm low on him. He does have his idol, and he has the knowledge that it came from Genevieve, which makes me feel good about him because I think he will play it if he's in real danger. But they're going to just cut Steph before him. So I
think Ozzy's fine.
He's in with the group for now. All right, so moving up from there, kind of getting into the people who are going to make a deep run, in my opinion. I think I'd probably go like Tiff, Camilla in this range.
Yep.
Maybe exactly. Devins in this range.
Devins I would still have a little bit higher, but Tiff, Camilla, Coach, that's kind of like the next couple that I would have here in our 9 to 7.
I'm with you on all three of those. Okay. Moving through these last few, I'd probably go Joe.
Let's go Joe, that's fine. And I was like, for 1 to 5, maybe. Let's do our top to bottom.
I think it's just the straight up alliance Joe, Coach, Colby right here.
Yeah. That's going to be such a strong alliance. It's going to be a reminiscent of the 48 alliance.
I think I'm going like Mike, Rick, and then honestly, I think Jonathan might be number 1, man.
I still take Christian 1. All right, now let's
highlight a quick comment from Sam again. Yeah. Is Tiffany only good with Aubrey on her tribe? I think she's pretty low. That's kind of a good point here.
You did say
I think it's a good point, man.
Yeah.
I think we'd put her. Sam raises a very good point here. Who has Tiff been high? Tiff has had no content this season. Who's she been shown with?
No one really.
I mean, if Aubrey like commands power with the idol, then that's good for Tiff. But yeah, I mean, Tiff hasn't had a lot of good content. I think that's a very good point from Sam in the comments about Tiff. I think that sways me on Tiff, to be honest with you. Do you have anything positive you'd say about Tiff? Has she wowed you or impressed you with anything? I mean, they haven't given her a lot of an edit, so that kind of is indicative of like.
Not really, and I mean, you and I were talking about this IRL the other day, but even in 46, Tiff wasn't super impressive. She was likable, but outside of finding her idol, she didn't really do much.
She's a good personality. I think she's a cool person.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think she's very fun to be with on the she gets along well with people. She's got good social skills, but I think she's got a lot of potential to make big moves and big swings. So we'll see. She seems like a deadly silent killer type player.
And she's going to come back swinging this season because, again, she went out with an idol in her pocket. So damn well she's not going to make that same mistake again.
So just going through each player real quick. Christian, poised for a deep run. Jonathan, absolute beast, poised for a deep run. Rick, I feel like he's had nothing but good content. Mike is in command of his tribe right now. Colby, Joe, Coach, feel strong about all them. They have a tight alliance. Camilla in a good spot on her tribe. Very valuable puzzle beast. Ozzy got an idol. Maybe not in the best spot on his tribe, but he's in right now. Emily has her Nerd Alliance. Seems like she's kind of the middle of her tribe. Tiff, been pretty neutral content-wise all season. Not low on her. Aubrey, not in the best spot, but she has an idol and she has information. So I feel like that's a fair placement. D, in a good spot. Haven't got a lot of content. She is a winner, and that's what freaks me out. If you're a winner, are you going to really make it far in a season like this? Probably not. Charlie, I think he's overplaying. I think he's getting negative content for a reason. Angelina, maybe we're underrating her. Maybe. Sari, I feel like they highlighted her as a target for a reason. Rizzo is being highlighted as a target. Genevieve is being highlighted as a target.
Yeah.
Chrissy, we haven't got much good content from her. We could see growth from her. And then we have Steph, who's just absolutely cooked. So I'm not really opposed to anything on this list. If anything, I would make an argument for Angelina being a little bit higher, but she's been quiet, so I wouldn't really fight that hard for her. Are we locking this in?
Yeah, I'd say so. And
all right, let's lock it in.
Let's clarify right here that this is longevity rankings. This isn't who we're thinking is going to finish 1st through 20th at this point. This is our rankings based on who we think is the most solidified to stay next week versus who we think is going out next week. So with that being said, let's show again our episode 2 rankings and see how close we were there.
We had Q in 20th place getting eliminated this week, so not too far off. Joe, I think, makes the biggest jump this week, along with Colby. And everything else seems a little bit on par with where we are. Genevieve, probably the biggest drop of anyone. No, Steph, obviously the biggest drop. Never mind.
Steph, the biggest drop. Genevieve,
but she got swap screwed. Steph was in a great spot before that, so she did get swap screwed pretty hard.
But I will say last week was our first ranking of longevity, and we had Q at 20. Obviously, Christy's team did not make it to Tribal, so I would count that as a win. Well,
I think the thought with Q at 20 was we knew there was a tribe swap coming up and that he didn't have a vote. So that's kind of the thought there.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying.
He wasn't the real alliance on his tribe.
But no, we were correct.
Yeah,
in our thinking.
Longevity ranking. So we've been doing pretty well so far. We had Savannah low after week 1, and we had Q low after week 2. I think it's pretty strong chance Steph goes next if her tribe loses. So I feel pretty good about this ranking here. All right. Well, before we wrap it up today, I want to throw in one last comment that's making me laugh here. Who's going to get the Zach Brown reward and what's it going to be?
I did want to bring that up too. Yeah. That's a great comment.
Sam. Are they going to get to put their toes in the sand with Zach Brown?
So next week, it looks like we have a Zach Brown challenge. It's going to be swimming. It looked like all 20 of them are swimming. And one last comment that was brought up was it was Mike and I forget who he was talking to, but Mike was saying, are we having a David versus Goliath final 3? So that's some stuff to look forward to. But who's going to get the Zach Brown reward?
I think it's going to be a tribe reward. The whole tribe might get to meet him because, I mean, they showed him in person. So I think we already saw that Mr. Beast is coming to the island, so they're probably bringing in celebrities. I think it could be a thing where you get to have a cold beer with Zach Brown. That's my prediction. Maybe a cheeseburger.
It's going to be a reward challenge or maybe something at the sanctuary.
Meet him at the sanctuary. What if it was a surprise? That would be cool. That would be really cool.
I do have
think they'll bring him to the challenge? Sorry, I'm excited.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
I think they'll bring him to the challenge and display Zach Brown and be like, your reward is a cheeseburger and a cold beer with Zach Brown. And then
what if he's just playing his music in the background during the challenge?
That would be cool too. That would be cool. Actually, I think that I would be on board with that. I know I said no celebrity appearances at the beginning of this podcast series that we've started, but I like Zach Brown, man.
I'm open to anything. You know what? Again, I know I brought it up at the beginning of the podcast too, but I'm not going to hate on anything until I see it.
I will hate on Jeff rapping. I will start to hate on Jeff rapping. That needs to die off. The snap raps need to die off. Sorry, man. And the other thing I would hate is if we get Jimmy Fallon on here. I think laughing and everything. I don't want that either.
I think I did hear Jimmy Fallon is somehow related to this season too.
I just hope they did mention his name in the preview for this season. I just hope that he is just like a Billie Eilish boomerang. Like they name an advantage after him and that's it.
While we're talking about celebrities, I do want to ask, what are your thoughts on the fact that we are now 3 episodes in and Billie Eilish still hasn't had any support for this Survivor season so far. And 2 of her idols have been found.
Yeah, I do find it weird. I figured they would use her as promotion. I mean, there's just so much potential. She's got, 10 million followers on Instagram or something like that? Like, I'm
Is there a beef? Is it PR? Or is there some mystery thing that's coming up? I mean, because, again, we know Zach Brown's going to be on here. We know Jimmy Fallon's going to be on here. We know Mr. Beast. I mean, outside of Mr. Beast saying he did his collab for Beast Game Season 2 with Jeff, no one has done any collaboration. So I just want to also point that out. It's not just Billie, even though her idols have been found. all of the confirmed celebrities that are on Survivor 50, none of them have collabed yet. So
maybe there's a plan. Yeah, maybe there's a plan. I didn't think about that. I did think it was weird that we haven't heard anything from her, and other people in the community have mentioned that so far.
Yeah.
I didn't give it too much thought. Maybe there's something planned. If not, it's just odd. Like, they've invested so much effort and time into bringing her into this universe. Like, why would you not use her for promotion?
Yeah.
She's got so many followers, especially like young Gen Z and even younger, like kids and girls that you would want to promote this show to. So that surprises me, man. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on it? Do you think they're planning something?
That's the only. Last week, I brought it up that, again, I was surprised that she hadn't collaborated or anything. But again, giving it more thought this week and seeing tonight, I'm like, I think they have to be planning something. Like, there's got to be a reason that every celebrity involved hasn't had any connection to Survivor yet. There's got to be something big coming. Not sure what quite that is. Maybe they're going to have some sort of big reveal at the live reunion or Mergatory, or I don't know.
I'm going to make a bold prediction about Mergatory real quick. We are 3 episodes in, and we're down to 20 players.
Yes, and we're starting with day we're starting with day 9. We're also starting day 9 is our next episode. We're 8 days in.
We got to start making some cuts.
We have 14 episodes. Is that how math works?
14 episodes typically in a Survivor season. On average, it's 14.
Yeah.
Some have been more than that. And then there's usually a live reunion for the old school seasons as well.
No, so what we've gone through 8 days. 4 people are gone.
I think it's either going to be a position where we have a bunch of double eliminations in a row, or we're going to get something crazy at the Mergatory where it's like a 15-person Mergatory or an 18-person Mergatory, and then we split into 3 tribes of 6 or 3 tribes of 5, and it's like whichever 5 group loses, like all 5 of you are gone or something wild. Like,
I don't know
that would really surprise me. And then other than that, like, what's the schedule looking like? Are we just going to do a bunch of double boots?
So there is 18 days left. Figured out math in my head. Thanks. 18 days left. There's 20 people left. So there are 17 boots. So we still have 17 boots in 18 days.
Yeah, there's going to be a like mass casualty event or double eliminations nonstop. I don't know. Maybe Mergatory, it's like 2 groups of 8, and then you have like 1 man, 1 woman immune, and then you're voting out 2 people.
All right. Also,
when you lose 4 at once, maybe.
What if there's a jury of like 12 or 13, and there's like 5 in the final jury?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I kind of miss the very old school days of having a 7-person jury, and then you get a 4-3 vote. Like, it would be nice to have a cutthroat season like this with a small jury, like a 7-person jury and final 3. Top 10 out of 24 make it. More than half the cast doesn't make the jury.
Yeah,
that'd be cool. But New Era is very inclusive. That's probably a long shot. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, what's your prediction on the way they're going to start eliminating people? You think we're going to get double eliminations moving forward, or just a mass casualty?
I mean, my prediction last week for this week was that we were going to have double eliminations.
That seems plausible.
I am already wrong. So, I mean, I still kind of want to stick with my gut and say we're going to get double eliminations. But with 50 happening, maybe they're going to go out and play Rock Band with
Coach and the Dragons from Heroes Villains.
Coach and the Dragons. What if they go out and play Rock Band versus with Zach Brown and whoever
does it? Man, that would be one of the greatest rewards of the New Era, if not the single greatest reward of the New Era.
Whoever loses against, whoever gets the lowest score, they're voted out.
That'll be fun. But yeah, do you think mass casualty is more likely? Or
no, I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. Mike, based on how this week went, I'm thinking double eliminations, a larger jury, and a larger winners pool.
Double elimination starting when?
It would have to be next week. I mean, again, I said that last week, but I would say next week too.
Okay. Yeah, I think double eliminations are more likely than a mass casualty event at Mergatory. The other thing I want to ask you before we wrap up here, do you think we're going to have another tribe swap?
I think we're going to combine into 2 at some point.
Have they done that in the new era? I don't think they have. And Stoslin brought this up earlier with the fan vote. I know they had in the fan vote 3 tribes versus 2 tribes as one of the options. I voted for 2 tribes.
Me too.
And like, where are the public results? Why are these results not public, man? I know that every freaking, like, the majority of people I've talked to voted for 2 tribes. So I don't know where that is, but
I don't know. I want to see the results for all these votes because there's a lot of these where almost everyone that I've talked to who watched the show has voted against what Jeff and production have said that they voted for. I mean, if I see the results and I see that, yeah, the vote was for this option, I'm going to be like, all right, cool. But yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to bring up or else? Because otherwise I have one last question for you tonight.
Yeah. Hit me.
What was your favorite quote of the night?
Favorite quote of the night. Nothing comes to the top of my head immediately. So I'm going to say Q saying vote for me.
Okay.
What do you have? Am I missing something hilarious?
Not something hilarious, but I think something that will play into the later game and something that was kind of slipped into tribal. It was Mike to Christian. Mike said, if you step before, you'll step again.
That could have been the episode title.
Yeah. Actually,
I'm going to change my quote to Rizzo saying, Charlie, have you talked to Maria? That was so funny. Rizzo, if you're watching, dude, that was so funny, bro. That was so funny.
I mean, good for you for asking that too. Yeah. Like everyone's been wondering, so good for you for actually asking.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you made a good point about that. That could be a motif coming up. Yeah.
I think there was a reason that was included. That
maybe Mike targets Christian. Yeah.
Maybe David. I mean, again, in the scenes for your next episode, it was Mike was seen talking to, maybe it was Christian. I forget who it was, but he was asking, is like, is the David versus Goliath 3 happening? So I don't know. Something tells me that specific quote of, if you step before, you'll step again, like, will have a meaning later in this season.
Well, I enjoyed this week. Thanks to all you who showed up for the stream tonight and joined our comment section. I had a blast. Looking forward to next week. Not looking forward to watching Steph just get led to the slaughter, unfortunately. But hopefully another tribe loses and we get some drama. That'd be fun, man.
Would love to see it.
Yeah,
I want to see more drama in this season. I want to see double eliminations. I was really hoping Jeff would take one of those immunity idols away and say the 2 losing teams would go to immunity or go to tribal. Let's see that next week. I want to see some more cutthroat happen.
The martyr approach of reality TV aftermath episodes. I don't think we've quite peaked yet, Sam. I think we're getting there.
No.
I think we still have a long way to go before we hit our martyr approach.
That was a good quote, though. I do appreciate that. One of the best episodes in Survivor history.
Yeah, I would argue our martyr approach might be the best episode.
Fair enough. That's another conversation for another time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, maybe we do have a list of best episodes podcast coming up in the future. Good call, man. Every time we have one of these podcasts, we think of a future podcast idea, so I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we got to think of something for our postseason.
Yeah, true. We got challenges, and now we got episodes. All right, well, it's getting late on the East Coast. I think we call it here. That was a fun hour and 20 minutes, and we'll see you all next week.
See you all next week.